We all need to get better in all areas, and I'm going to continue to challenge him in the ways that I've challenged him over the course of his career to continue to find new ways to be an impact player for us, to continue to grow within the role that is his role on this team. He's a dynamic player. There are responsibilities that come with being a dynamic player. I'm going to ask him to continue to grow in those areas. But that's not in response to anything that transpired over the course of the season or even at the end of the season. That's normal operating business for all returning players. I think it's important that they have great clarity about not only what their roles are formally, but what the responsibility, the informal responsibilities are associated with those ever-growing and ever-changing roles. And our conversations will be no different than they've been in regards to those things, but the same could be said about all the players.
We got all kinds of upheaval happening here in Pittsburgh. Ben Roethlisberger, we discussed earlier, the comments he made today, not committing to 2017. If you missed that, search Ben Roethlisberger. Find those combos on demand on your favorite 120 platform. Now we move to Antonio Brown. CT apparently got upset in that AFC Championship game when D'Angelo Williams scored a touchdown and not him. Brown was reportedly after the game pouting, was the last player to walk off the field and had to be consoled by Ben Roethlisberger on the sidelines. Reports are coming out of Pittsburgh that some in his locker room are growing tired of Antonio Brown's act, his frustrations, and they think he cares more about stats individually than wins for the team. CT, are you concerned that his ego is getting the best of him?
I think there is something here. This is not the first time that something like this has happened. There was a report that last year, Coach Tomlin actually had to sit Antonio Brown down and tell him to stop chasing statistics. So this is the first time this has come up. And when there's smoke, there's fire. So I think the Steelers certainly want to address this at this point before it gets out of hand. But when you talk about wide receivers, especially elite ones, there's a little prima donna in a lot of those guys. AB, we know he's got the twerking going. When you're twerking in the end zone, I understand you like to celebrate, you like to have fun, but that's a little bit of, it's all about me. Hey, look at me. He's a guy who's going to go on the goalpost and jump on the goalpost after he scored a touchdown. That celebration. He's got all the faces on the cleats. I thought that was cool, all the artwork, but still, it's attracting attention to yourself. So you attract attention to yourself, you want to have big numbers, and then that probably will lead you to big-time endorsements. We all know the Pepsi commercial that he has. We've discussed how Facebook Live tapped him to push that Facebook Live platform. So the more stats he has, the more of an endorser he can be, and that will enhance his brand. I'm not saying he's a selfish guy, but I'm saying there is something to this that I'm sure Coach Tomlin wants to make sure he gets under control.